What if I told you that achieving financial freedom could be as simple as following just one basic investing rule? That most people are overcomplicating their path to wealth with complex strategies that actually hurt their returns. Today, we're diving deep into J.L. Collins' revolutionary book, The Simple Path to Wealth, and I'm about to share the exact formula that could transform your financial future forever. You know that feeling when you're drowning in financial advice. Everyone's telling you to diversify across 17 different asset classes, time the market, pick individual stocks, or follow some guru's latest investment strategy. Meanwhile, you're sitting there thinking there has to be a simpler way. Well, Collins spent decades in the financial world and discovered something that will blow your mind. The wealthiest people he knew weren't following complicated formulas or secret strategies. They were doing something so simple that most people dismiss it as too basic to work. This isn't just another personal finance book filled with generic advice you've heard 1,000 times. Collins wrote this initially as a series of letters to his daughter, sharing the hard-earned wisdom from his years navigating Wall Street and building serious wealth. What started as fatherly advice became a phenomenon that's helped millions of people completely transform their relationship with money and investing. The beauty of this book lies in its brutal honesty about the financial services industry and its refreshingly simple approach to building wealth. Collins cuts through decades of marketing noise and complicated investment products to reveal a path so straightforward that anyone can follow it, regardless of their income level or financial knowledge. Introduction to The Simple Path to Wealth. J.L. Collins didn't set out to become a financial guru. As a successful businessman who spent years in the corporate world, he witnessed firsthand how the financial services industry operates and how ordinary people get trapped in cycles of poor investment decisions. The simple path to wealth emerged from his desire to cut through the noise and share what actually works for building long-term wealth. What makes this book unique is its origin story. Collins initially wrote these concepts as blog posts and letters to his daughter, explaining how she could achieve financial independence without falling into the traps that ensnare most investors. His approach is refreshingly honest about the mistakes he made early in his career and the lessons learned from watching countless people sabotage their financial futures. The book's central premise challenges everything the financial industry wants you to believe. Instead of promoting complex portfolios, active trading, or expensive financial products, Collins advocates for a remarkably simple strategy that requires minimal time, knowledge, or maintenance. His approach is based on decades of market data and real-world results, rather than theoretical models or marketing hype. Collins brings credibility to his advice through his extensive experience in business and his track record of achieving financial independence. He's not selling courses or managing funds, he's simply sharing the strategy that worked for him and thousands of others. The book resonates because it's written by someone who has actually walked the path he's describing. What sets The Simple Path to Wealth apart is its focus on psychological barriers to wealth building. Collins understands that the biggest obstacles to financial success aren't technical, they're emotional and behavioural. He addresses the fear, greed, and social pressure that lead people to make poor financial decisions, providing readers with both the strategy and the mindset needed to succeed. The Simple Path to Wealth presents a straightforward investment philosophy centered on index fund investing, particularly focusing on total stock market index funds. Collins argues that this approach outperforms the vast majority of complex investment strategies while requiring minimal time and effort from investors. The book is structured around Collins's correspondence with his daughter, creating an intimate and personal tone that makes complex financial concepts accessible. He begins by debunking common myths about investing, particularly the belief that active management and stock picking lead to superior returns. Through compelling data and real-world examples, he demonstrates how these approaches typically underperform simple index investing. Collins introduces readers to the concept of FU money, his colourful term for financial independence. He explains how having enough invested assets to cover your expenses provides ultimate freedom from the dependence on employment or others. This isn't about getting rich quick, it's about building sustainable wealth that provides security and options. The book emphasizes the importance of avoiding debt, particularly high-interest consumer debt that prevents wealth accumulation. Collins provides practical strategies for eliminating debt while simultaneously building investment assets. He also addresses the psychological aspects of money management, helping readers understand why people make poor financial decisions despite knowing better. Throughout the book, Collins maintains a conversational tone that makes investing feel approachable rather than intimidating. He shares personal stories and mistakes, creating trust with readers who may be skeptical of financial advice. His approach is refreshingly honest about both the simplicity of the strategy and the discipline required to execute it consistently. The book concludes with practical guidance on implementing the strategy, including specific fund recommendations and portfolio management techniques. Collins provides readers with everything they need to begin investing immediately, removing the excuses and complexity that prevent many people from taking action. The foundation of Collins's entire philosophy rests on total stock market index funds, specifically the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. This single investment vehicle provides exposure to virtually every publicly traded company in the United States, delivering market returns with minimal fees. Collins argues that this approach eliminates the need for complex asset allocation strategies or attempts to pick winning stocks or sectors. Collins dedicates significant attention to debunking the myth of active management. He presents compelling evidence showing that the vast majority of actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark indexes over extended periods. Even funds that outperform in the short term rarely maintain their advantage long term. The combination of higher fees, frequent trading costs, and manager turnover creates substantial headwinds that few funds overcome. The concept of market timing receives thorough examination and rejection. Collins explains how attempting to move in and out of the market based on predictions consistently destroys returns. He shares examples of investors who missed the best performing days while trying to avoid the worst ones, ultimately achieving returns far below buy and hold investors. The message is clear. Time in the market beats timing the market. Debt elimination forms a crucial component of the wealth building strategy. Collins distinguishes between good debt, such as mortgages on appreciating real estate, and bad debt, particularly high-interest credit card balances. He provides specific strategies for eliminating bad debt while explaining how good debt can actually accelerate wealth building when managed properly. The book addresses international diversification, a topic that generates considerable debate among investors. Collins acknowledges the theoretical benefits of international exposure, but argues that total stock market index funds provide sufficient diversification through multinational corporations. He suggests that adding international funds creates complexity without necessarily improving returns or reducing risk. Emergency funds receive careful consideration, with Collins recommending 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash or cash equivalents. This emergency fund serves as insurance against life's unexpected events and prevents the need to sell investments during market downturns. The emergency fund also provides psychological comfort that helps investors maintain their long-term perspective during volatile periods. Collins explores the psychology of investing, addressing why people consistently make poor financial decisions despite abundant information about what works. He discusses the role of fear and greed in driving market cycles and explains how understanding these emotions can help investors maintain discipline during turbulent periods. The book provides detailed guidance on retirement account optimization, including 401k plans, IRAs, and Roth IRAs. Collins explains the tax advantages of these accounts and provides strategies for maximizing contributions while minimizing current and future tax obligations. He emphasizes the importance of starting early to take advantage of compound growth over decades. The most powerful lesson from The Simple Path to Wealth is that investing success depends more on behavior than intelligence or expertise. Collins demonstrates that simple strategies executed consistently outperform complex approaches that require frequent decisions and adjustments. The key is developing the discipline to stick with the plan during both market euphoria and panic. Understanding the true cost of financial products emerges as a critical factor in long-term wealth building. Collins reveals how seemingly small fees and expenses compound over time, potentially costing investors hundreds of thousands of dollars over their careers. He teaches readers to focus on expense ratios and avoid products with high fees, regardless of their marketing appeal. The power of compound growth becomes clear through Collins's examples and calculations. Starting early with consistent contributions allows time and compound returns to work their magic, potentially turning modest monthly investments into substantial wealth over decades. The lesson is that time is more valuable than timing when building wealth. Collins emphasizes the importance of living below your means as the foundation of wealth building. No investment strategy can overcome spending that exceeds income, while modest incomes can generate substantial wealth when combined with consistent saving and investing. The focus should be on increasing the gap between income and expenses rather than chasing higher returns. The book teaches readers to ignore financial media and market predictions. Collins explains how financial news networks and publications profit from creating drama and urgency around market movements. Successful investors learn to tune out to the noise and focus on their long-term goals rather than daily market fluctuations. Risk management through diversification receives practical treatment, showing how total stock market index funds provide exposure to thousands of companies across all sectors and sizes. This diversification reduces company-specific risk while maintaining exposure to market growth. Collins demonstrates that adding complexity through multiple funds rarely improves risk-adjusted returns. The importance of tax-advantaged accounts cannot be overstated. Collins provides specific strategies for maximizing contributions to 401k plans, IRAs, and other tax-advantaged vehicles. He explains how these accounts can dramatically improve after-tax returns and provides guidance on account selection and management. Understanding market volatility as a feature rather than a bug becomes crucial for long-term success. Collins explains how market downturns create buying opportunities for regular investors through dollar-cost averaging. He reframes volatility as the price investors pay for superior long-term returns rather than something to be feared or avoided. The book addresses the psychological challenges of wealth building, particularly the tendency to sabotage long-term success for short-term comfort. Collins provides strategies for maintaining discipline during difficult periods and explains how understanding market history can provide perspective during turbulent times. Finally, Collins emphasizes the importance of financial education and taking personal responsibility for investment decisions. Rather than delegating financial decisions to others, he encourages readers to understand the basics of investing and maintain control over their financial futures. This education provides confidence and helps investors avoid costly mistakes. The Simple Path to Wealth offers something rare in personal finance literature, a strategy that is both genuinely simple and genuinely effective. Collins has distilled decades of market wisdom into an approach that anyone can understand and implement, regardless of their financial background or investment experience. What makes this book particularly valuable is its emphasis on behavior over tactics. Collins understands that knowing what to do is far easier than actually doing it consistently over time. His focus on the psychological aspects of investing provides readers with the tools they need to stay disciplined during both market euphoria and panic. The book's greatest strength lies in its honesty about both the simplicity of successful investing and the discipline required to execute the strategy. Collins doesn't promise easy riches or secret formulas. Instead, he offers a proven path that requires patience, consistency, and the courage to ignore the noise that surrounds financial markets. For readers tired of complex investment strategies and conflicting advice, The Simple Path to Wealth provides clarity and confidence. Collins's approach removes the barriers that prevent many people from investing while providing the knowledge needed to build substantial wealth over time. The book serves as both a practical guide and a source of inspiration for anyone serious about achieving financial independence. The Simple Path to Wealth proves that the most powerful investment strategy might also be the simplest one. Collins's gift to readers is showing them that they already have everything they need to succeed. They just need to start walking the path.